Hi everyone, it's Gods Enchantments here, and I'm today going to do another Oracle review. So this is the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. It is again very similar to the Gaia Oracle published by Blue Angel Publishing, so it has virtually the same box, just different imagery. So a nice solid box with your little thumb tags at the side so you can easily get the lid off, or like me, you can just be shaking it like a mad woman. So there's the back of the box. You get 44 cards and a 220 page guidebook. There's some images on the back plus a little bit of information about the deck. Pretty standard stuff for an Oracle deck. So let's get our cards and our book out and get the box out the way. I'll start with the book as usual. So here's the guidebook. It is a thicker, more substantial guidebook than the Gaia Oracle, for example. If you've watched that review, this is much thicker. Gorgeous imagery on the front, some information on the back. Let's move you out the way. Let's have a look at what we've got. So your standard at the front, you have a index, thank goodness, because for me, I've said it in my other videos, but it's such an important part of your deck. If you're going to use the guidebook, you need to be able to use it easily with the cards. It needs to be in alphabetical order, or the cards need to be numbered, whatever way the person wants to do it. So in here they are in alphabetical order, so all the cards have a name on them. You can easily come in here and go, right, I want Eye of Horus, I need to go to E, and then you can find that that is page 58. So that's lovely. So there's an introduction to the Oracle itself. We have, again, it's all information really. Why all the emphasis on beings who love me unconditionally? What is the best way to do the rituals and guided meditations? How do I use the deck? Then we have some spreads. Now, I do like the fact that these spreads have kind of been customized for this deck, because it always is a bit of a annoyance to me when you get a deck that has a specific category or focus and then you just open it up and there's your like past, present, future reading. So we have the Golden Eye of Horus, and then good descriptions on how to read that. We have the Wing of Isis, again good description, working with it, ritual information. There is only 2 spreads as you see, but at least they are customized and very informative. Then come your card messages. Now this has one of the longest descriptions and the most information of probably any Oracle deck that I have come across. Alana Fairchild does do this a lot with her decks, but this is even longer than her Kuan Yin, for example. I have the Goddess Oracle, which I've already reviewed, and that has an excellent book with it, which also has rituals, but again, this is even longer than that. So you start off with your title, then kind of the overall message or the key phrases or the key sentence to do with that card. Then about, so this card is about abundance. Then we have all about abundance here. Then we go into the actual meanings and the energies of the card, which is a very long, as you can see, all here, all there, all over here as well. Then you go on and you have your abundant ritual. So you've got a long ritual with full instructions there, which again goes over, and then you have an incantation at the end, which you can use in the ritual, usually around at the end, or you can use by itself as a mini ritual. So there is a ton of information here. There is a lot to learn if you're interested in Isis, if you're interested in Egyptology, and Egypt energy as a whole, Egyptian energy, Egyptian pantheon. This would be a great deck for you, because there's lots of sort of information and working information on how to actually get going with ritual. You're not just reading your cards, you're then like, right, okay, so the cards are saying, I need to be bringing in more abundance, or I need to be clearing out those negative thoughts. And then you go away from the card reading usually and you're like, okay, that's what I said. I'll think about that today. This actually gives you a, what's the word, like a physical thing to go and do, to work with that energy, to clear something, to bring something in. So I really love that about this book. It's all set out the same. They all have the same layout, pages of information, plus your, you know, it's a lot of information in this book, which just goes on and on. Then at the back we just have about the creators, other things available. There's the Kuan Yin deck that I mentioned, this meditation CD, which I have not tried, but I am interested in trying. So if I try, I will let you know. So just some information on other decks in the back there. So that's the book. Then we come to our cards. They all have the scarab detail on the back here, like so. And then we'll go through the cards. So we have Wings of Isis. And then we have, again, either our keywords or our key phrase to do with the cards. So you can read them intuitively. Using those, you can cover it, read it intuitively if you're learning to read intuitively, and then see, is that what you got from the card? Again, there's different ways to read them. Or you can just use the book, which is very in-depth and detailed. So it's completely up to you. So yeah. Divine Sisterhood. Community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. Now the one thing I do like about this deck as well is obviously with some decks that, you know, this is called the Isis Oracle, but it also does focus on some of the male aspects as well. So it's not completely feminine, so you do feel there's some balance in here. Not all the cards have Isis on or a god on them. You get some cards like this, past life, present power, the many spiritual faces of you, the dark mysteries, portal of light, life restored. So it's all beautiful Egyptian imagery. If you work with Egyptian energy, Egyptian pantheon, if you have an Egyptian matron, patron, even if it's not Isis, I really think these would be a valuable tool for your practice. High Priestess. Look at that. And they're good cardstock. As you can see while I'm doing it, they're not flimsy or anything. Key of Life. Look at that. Temple of Lapis Lazuli. And if you're working any kind of Egyptian magic, you will have some lapis in your collection and be working with it. I just absolutely love this card. Really connect to this. I like to actually put a piece of lapis on this card if it comes up. Look at that. Temple of Black Obsidian. It's just amazing. There's gemstone cards in here. I forget, you see, because like I might not use this deck for a couple of months or something, and then I bring it out and I'm like, oh my gosh, look what it's got in there. I completely forgot. Wonderful. Initiation. How absolutely gorgeous is that? And there's Horus. Stay true and be in your power. These are very empowering cards, I must say. Temple of Carnelian. How gorgeous is that? And in the back you've got Sekhmet. Knot of Isis. Abundance. Look at that. I absolutely love the imagery of these cards. They're so gorgeous. Divine Sunchild. So you've got Isis, Osiris and Horus. How absolutely stunning is that? Pillar of Light, Queen of Heaven. And like I said, because these come with the ritual, if you have pulled this card, you can actually have the Macabre. You can actually put this on your altar as your focus while you're doing the ritual. You just use this, put a tea light in front of it, and you can focus on the ritual that's in the book, if that's the way you want to go, or you can do your own ritual. It's completely up to you. Look at that flower of life. Just some gorgeous imagery on here. It really is. Look, it's Osiris. But again, healing the divine masculine. So we've got the masculine, and I think that's important to really bring up, because a lot of these decks do not cover the masculine if they are meant to be like the Isis Oracle. You wouldn't necessarily think straight away there's going to deal with the masculine, but as women, we often ignore that side and then we can get out of balance. So it's great to have that in here. And also for men, balancing the feminine side. So these cards are really great, male, female. It's fabulous. Spirit of Isis, Eye of Horus. I honestly just love the imagery. These are so amazing. Lady of the Stars, Soul Retrieval, into the Chamber of Healing, Ancient Power Mysteries, Talismans of Potency, Miracle of Isis. We've got Isis and Osiris, Divine Guardian, Goddess of 10,000 Names, which if you work with Isis, you will have heard that phrase on numerous occasions. Rising Sun, Proper Burial for Freedom, Magic and Ritual. This is actually one of my favourite cards in the deck. Crafting Sacred Practice. Everyone needs that reminder sometimes. The Lunar Queen, Mother of Life, Truths Unveiled, Serpent of Fire, Divine Destiny, and the Brother in Darkness. Fabulous. Now, one thing I will say about this deck that I find is this is not, in my opinion, you may find it works differently for you, but in my opinion, this is not a quick reading deck. So if you've gotten up in the morning and you are on your way out for work and you want to do a quick one draw for your day and get a quick message, this I don't find lends itself to that, because the messages are so in depth and so deep. You really do, when you read with these cards, I find that I need to sit down, set up my reading area and do a proper reading so I can really absorb what they're telling me, look at the rituals, look at the invocation, think how can I incorporate that, which is most important for me to do, etc, etc. So I don't find that I use these for quick daily draws. I do daily draws with them, but when I have more time, if I'm not doing anything that morning and I get up and I'm like, right, I'm going to do a daily draw, and I have 20 minutes, 25 minutes to do it and really look into the card and get that intuition going and focus. So these are great for in-depth readings. I probably wouldn't want to do a massive spread with them though. If you read for clients like I do, I certainly would not use these for, say, if I'm doing a 12 card spread, or I've designed some spreads myself that I use that they could be 14 cards. I could be working with the lunar cycles and the months of the year or something. I think this would be too much. It's overload. I feel these are overload in that kind of quantity. I think for me, probably a 6 card might be the maximum with these. So you can really soak in what they have to say, because they do have a lot to say, and the same cards will keep coming up for you if you don't pay attention. So they have a little mind of their own, I find, with my deck of these. So yes, that's just how I use them. But again, do you experiment? If you get these cards and you do big tarot spreads all the time, use them. If you want to do your daily draws with these really quickly in the morning before work, do that. See if it works for you. I'm just giving how I work with them, so you have some ideas. So that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. You can visit my website, which I will put a link to down below, and I will speak to you all soon. Blessed be.